all you icons out there in indie pod land. How the heck are you doing this morning? I'm feeling really good, like great even, especially compared to the last couple days, because I actually got enough sleep last night, and I did a new thing I've done it twice now, and I made sure I did it this morning. That is maybe a little bit strange for some, but I try to keep an open mind when doing new things. And if you guys ask in the chat what that thing was, maybe I will divulge a little bit into what that thing is. Let me know where you are listening from. What is going on? Tim, how are you doing this morning? Are you feeling super? I hope you're feeling super. I know I am feeling, like I said, a lot better than I did the last couple of days, because I actually got like enough sleep last night. We didn't have some kind of interruption or something to that effect go on. So today we are going to be talking with one of our icons from the community. We're going to be helping him figure out how and where he can move the needle faster with his podcast. Sorry, I just needed to take a breath. I feel like I've been holding my breath since I've been so productive the last like 2.5 hours here at my computer. And thank you so much, Super Tim. I greatly appreciate that. So before we jump in and bring in our guest this week for this podcast coaching episode on this Training Thursday, I got to let you all know that this episode is brought to you by the Indie Pod University. It's where you will learn to launch, grow, and monetize your podcast. There's tons of educational videos. There's tons of previous talks from past 5 years of icon events, as well as all the virtual events that we've done up until now, and where Icon 6 will be put as well when we host that. Because if you haven't heard, Icon 6 is happening, and it's not happening in the backyard anymore behind this door. Really disappointed about that, but I'm actually not that disappointed. And the reason is because we are going to make it a face-to-face event as if we were in the same room together. Instead of using StreamYard, which I've been using here for the last several months to create all these free live virtual events, we're moving it over to Zoom, where we'll be able to host the workshops and the talks and have people introduce themselves, and a much more interactive experience than we had previously done in these free virtual events. Now, don't fret. Those free live virtual podcast conferences are going to make a return, probably October, November, maybe January. I'm not positive just yet. I got a lot of things I need to do leading up to this event on September 12th. So if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, I would suggest you go and get your ticket. If you haven't submitted to speak, I suggest you go and do that. There will be a limited number of speakers at this event. So if you want to get that opportunity to speak, I suggest you do that. I think it's August 15th is the cutoff date. I think that's what I did. So you pretty much have like a little over 2 weeks to get your speaker submission in. And if you are selected, you will have a free ticket to the conference. Speaking of free, tomorrow is Free Ride Friday, and I will be giving away 1 free month of IndiePod University access. You can subscribe to the Indie. All you have to do is subscribe to the Indie Podcasters YouTube channel. We're up to almost, I think we're at 29 subscribers right now, so we're doing all right. We're cruising right along there. Go to indiepodcasters.com/tube and you can subscribe there. Also, if you want to get featured, I haven't done it yet, but I'm building up a catalog of podcasts. If you want to get featured on the Indie Podcasters website, go and submit your podcast over at grabalisten.com. And fill out the form, and we will be start picking probably in the next week or so, maybe week or 2 weeks. We'll start picking out a podcast a week to feature there over at grabalisten.com, which is still, it's just a forwarding address to indiepodcasters.com, but that's what it is. Anyway, what it is this is Training Thursday here on the Indie Pod Daily Show. I'm super excited to jump right in. I'm super excited because I just saw the guest that this person is having on the show is pretty awesome and pretty legendary. So, everybody, I need super claps in the chat for Super Brett Allan. Woo! What is going on, sir? Welcome.
What's cooking? Good to be here with you.
Yeah, it's great to be here with you as well. You're gonna have Ric Flair on your show. Was that the one you were talking about?
Yeah, Rick was the best. I just released it last night. Interesting story if I have a minute to share.
Yeah, go ahead.
I had reached out to this publicity team to get somebody completely different and a cast member from a reality show, and that reality show just happened to be she wasn't doing any more press because she's just a little bit burnt. And they're like, "Hey, I have this launch of an app that we're doing, and I have all these people attached. Are you interested in any of them?" And he wasn't on the list, but I picked a few. And then I got a call yesterday and said, "Ric Flair's available to do an interview. Would you be interested?" And I was like, yeah. So I didn't know it was going to happen until yesterday. And of course I took it, and he was just the absolute best. So yeah, I can't believe I talked to him. He was really nice. And I mean, the guy's had a career for over 50 years. He's been in a wrestling world, and has no plan to stop. And so, yeah, it was literally like I was talking to him and then I was done. And I was like, did I just talk to Ric Flair? So, yeah, he was the best. The absolute best.
That is awesome. That is the power of just getting involved with the right people and keep going. Good morning, Super Larry Roberts. How are you feeling this morning? It sounds like you're doing very good to great. So Brett, like when you filled out the form to be on the show here, you didn't specify any one area that you were interested in looking at in what we could do to move the needle for you. So I think we'll just start like we start most of these episodes actually, which is Facebook user says scoring a dream guest is a great feeling and encouraging. I would agree. Facebook user, if you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, then you can see who you are. What was I gonna say? So let's start it out by just trying to go to your website, right? So I open up an incognito window here, and I'm going to type in the
incognito.
That was
keeping office workers safe since 1997.
Yeah, right. It actually is not very safe because if you're on a on a private network,
people joke around about that. They go, "Oh, just use an incognito window," and I'm like, "No, you don't think Google's tracking that? And if something really were to go down, somebody couldn't find it and get on it? Come on."
Well, if you're on an office network, all the traffic should be tracked anyway.
I know. So. I know somebody that is the senior systems analyst for a hospital in New Mexico. And he's like, anytime somebody clicks a website and it doesn't even have to be, risque. It could be anything. If it's something that's weird, an email goes to your supervisor immediately and tells them this person clicked on this website.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So they keep a tight rein, but I digress.
What's up, Eddie? How are you doing this morning? How you feeling? So I typed in the open mic podcast, which I'd never seen this before.
It's the open mic podcast.show.
.show is the okay. So it brings at least yours is coming out first with Stitcher, and then is there another open mic podcast? Yes.
Yeah, there are several out there, but mine's the open mic podcast.show.
.show. Okay. So let me go back here, which I think it actually did show up in the first.
It's always good when your podcast coach goes, "I've never seen that happen before."
Yeah, well, I'm just saying I hadn't seen that before, but maybe because it's such a generic topic or generic like term, open mic.
It is, and that, to be honest, was a struggle for a long time. But I had considered changing the name right around this time last year, and it literally sent me into like an existential breakdown, just trying to figure out how to change it, which kind of led to me one of the reasons to taking a break and just stopping altogether, because it was just so overwhelming. And then I was told by a few people, just leave it, because, this, that, and the other. But that's a whole nother conversation. But
Well, so when you say how to, you mean like how to like change like your feed so that,
no, like, so
or how
I
to
had,
change it so that it's directed and more
well,
specific.
no, when I say how to change it, I meant like we're talking a complete rebranding of a title change to the
Okay.
show and getting rid of the open mic podcast, because, you know, the open mic is such a broad term and there are so many shows, but I've been able to, over time, get it to where it's more searchable, and Google finally indexed it properly.
Hmm.
And I was able to not, I was going to change it to the Brett Allan show. That was kind of the original plan. But I had several people who encouraged me to say, just leave it how it is. And, um, and then you can do the necessary changes as possible, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because people
Yeah. I
already
mean,
knew it as that for so long, and people were attracted to that title, right? So when I would pitch a guest at that time, like, oh, that's an interesting topic. And then some people confused it for stand up. And I'm like, no, it's just the open mic. The idea behind it is come and talk about what you want, or let's talk about things that you don't normally discuss. And you have this open forum, to do and say whatever you need to say.
hmm. Okay. So it does kind of stink that your show still isn't coming up at like your website isn't coming up. Like every place else is coming up that has your show, but your there we go. Okay, so it's on the second page. Hmm. Okay, so site's open here. What people are saying. That's so you just added this
Yeah.
is this based off of your newest episode? Does the spot change
Yes.
or oh okay, okay. Awesome. Oh, okay. Oh, this is okay. So I see. I didn't know if that was like the start of like the episodes or what.
So yeah, the way I have it set up is if you go to the top there,
Mm-hmm.
there's previous guests, and this is all done through GoDaddy. So I've done this all manually, but I've actually considered going to this new thing that Ross Brand showed on his show called Pod Pages, where it
Oh, okay.
literally indexes everything for you. It does all the reviews, it embeds all of it. It's kind of an interesting thing, but again, I'm not sure if I want to just take it, and switch everything over and kind of redo it all, if that makes any sense. So I'm kind of
Hmm.
going between the two and deciding what the best move is, because Pod Pages has a really good layout. See, there it is right there. And he actually did a tutorial on this and kind of showed you how to do it. It's kind of the new and hottest thing that just released recently. And you can sort of customize the page to however you want it to look. But essentially, it takes your RSS feed and then indexes everything for you and puts it in a nice, neat package to where you don't have to do anything other than just release the episode, and then it indexes it. And then from there, you can sort of customize it and how it looks.
Okay. Yeah, and it seems very reasonably priced.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper than what I'm paying right now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Who is this through again?
Well, this is still
Just GoDaddy.
GoDaddy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
With the redirect from HostGator. But yeah, so I've been doing this just on my own since I restarted my show.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to go in and add all of that stuff manually. But
Yeah. I mean, I always recommend people use WordPress because you can take it with you. I don't know what their pod pages like can you export it and import it into a WordPress at a later date if you decide to go that route? That's that's the thing that I always, am big on is making sure that you can take your IP and bring it somewhere else. So regardless if it's with GoDaddy, like to me, like WordPress is great because like I could go to a new host, I could host it myself from my house if I wanted to. I could put it up on a server,
Sure.
and do all that. I mean, not everyone would, but I'm just saying that like you could,
Yeah.
or you could get someone to do it for you. Like if your content was, say, deemed to whatever and got pulled from the hosts that you were using, like you could host it yourself.
Yeah, so what
Um,
Plot Pages is, it's basically like WordPress on steroids, right? So
mhm.
instead of you having to do the initial plugging in of things on WordPress, because WordPress, you're just basically putting in an RSS feed, right? And it's auto-populating episodes for you. This kind of does the same thing. And there's actually, I could actually move my domain to this if I wanted to. There's a tutorial that Dave Jackson does, when it comes to moving your domain over to this. But the thing about this is, I mean, you can customize it to how you want it to look. You can do photos. It has an image resizer. So I have a demo page of this already set up. I don't know if you want me to share it with you, but essentially it's I already kind of have it set up. I just haven't published it yet, so it doesn't mess up my SEO. But yeah, it's kind of, you can do revenue integrations. You can do, it has like the listen buttons you can add. You can share episodes directly from there. So it's kind of like the newest, latest, and greatest thing.
The only thing I'm curious, do they, and I'm not seeing it, but do they host the actual podcast episodes? Because I see
They do. Yeah, here,
episode
can
videos.
I share a screen with you?
Yeah,
Are you okay
yeah,
with
share your
that?
screen. Yeah, share your screen.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to share this with you. I'll show you how I kind of have it set up. And then you can tell me what you think. See, here we go. Now we have our topic. All right. How do I share on this?
At the bottom it says
There we
share screen
Okay.
in the middle.
Let's see. Application window. Chrome tab. Okay, there we go. Can you see it now?
Yep.
So this is what Pod Pages does. And this is kind of what I have it set up so far. Again, I haven't really messed with it too much, but it auto-populates all your reviews. It has listen buttons that it automatically pulls over from your Apple feed. And then it has recent episodes, and then this, and then you can go to episodes, and then it has everything that I've done. Yeah. Now you can add pictures if you want to. Yeah, you can rate the show here. So if you click that, it takes you straight to Apple Podcast. It connects to my Instagram. It goes to Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. It does all that. See? Now you're going to see all the messages that I don't respond to. And then, of course, you can...
Well, I can only see this tab, so...
I know. Apple Pod. So then it has all the ways that you can subscribe right there. So I'd considered moving to this, and allegedly what it does is it helps you with your SEO too. Like that's kind of the idea. It sort of just takes everything and compiles it into one thing and makes it better.
Okay, so it says, do you host my podcast media files? They say, no, you'll need to use a podcast host for that. We are compatible with all of them, though. So, okay, so it's not podcast hosting. So you will need podcast hosting on.
So it's not like WordPress, right, where you actually host it from your website, right? And then it...
Well, that's how I do it. That's not how everybody can or should do it necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how I host mine is by hosting it through the WordPress host itself, like the website host. But
Okay.
no, this is, I mean, if you don't want to use WordPress, this seems like a pretty comprehensive solution for not a lot of money to get yourself up on a website. Now, I'm
Yeah.
assuming that they probably don't have domains either. You have to probably buy your domain separately.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I do know
So,
that you can move your domain over. So for Google, the openmicpodcast.show, I own that for 2 years. So I could essentially pay the $15 and then
no,
go through.
this is just the website. So you have to buy the domain somewhere else.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
And
Like,
keep the no, I'm reading it right here. Like
okay,
this
cool.
is yeah. So one of the best things about having your own website is letting Google know that it's the official place to learn about your podcast, and the best way the best way to make it official is to associate it with your own domain name. Simply register a domain name anywhere, as in not here, and we'll provide the details to point it.
You're funny.
Yeah, because if it was here, it would say like register your
Yeah, I know.
domain name, and and that would be the thing, right? So yeah, so and that's fine. Like that's it's just to me that kind of stinks, and I'm sure they think it stinks too because it's one more step that their customer base who already doesn't know
Right, right.
much is expected to go and do,
Well,
and
and that's the
it just
thing.
stinks.
The sticking point for me, Joe, is like to move my domain from GoDaddy to here is like a pain in the neck. Like there's like similarly four easy steps to do it, but then like if you don't have the coding right and all this other
Mm-hmm.
stuff,
Yep.
then it can just jam everything up. And
Mm-hmm.
again, Super Dave, has a tutorial how to do it, and he said, if you have any questions for this number of days, you can email us and we'll help you for free. If you buy the pod pages from our referral link, so he's already embedded with those guys and has,
Yeah.
and of course he is, right? He's always on the bleeding edge of this type of thing, and he'll go in and he'll help you move it. But I mean, he's had several people, like he was on this the day that it came out. And he put together a free YouTube tutorial with his partner, you know, on how to do all of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be honest with you, a website is something that it's probably been, so I feel very blessed in a lot of other areas, right? Like with guests and listeners and all of that. And we've had conversations about just recently on recordings and stuff. And so, like the website to me, I look at it and I go, okay, this is cool. But then I go to yours or like Harbinger's or Eric's or anybody's. And I'm just like, I feel like that I shouldn't have to take me an hour every time I upload a new episode to go in and copy and
Yeah.
paste and then add the HTML and then find a photo and then resize it. Yes, it does have an integrated player, I believe, Larry.
See, listeners can play as directly from your site with great media players. Pop page puts a player on every page. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, seems like we support standard. So the players, some media hosts such as Simplecast or Art. I've never heard of Art 19, but
It's another independent one. I use Simplecast. I've been with those guys. Ironically, when I signed up with them, I bought a 2-year membership on accident because I wasn't paying attention. So it was like $300. But the good news is that was a year ago, and I'm hosting some really great people. So, I mean, I wasn't. You know how they set that up, and you can do either monthly or yearly, but they don't really make it clear, like on which one you're clicking, and so then you click on it. I did the same thing with Zoom, and so now I have a year subscription to Zoom, which I don't really use a whole lot, but I guess it's better in the long run. Yeah.
So
Yes, Ray.
I think that by moving your site to them, it seems like you might end up with a lot better SEO ability.
Okay.
In the sense that I'm not sure what they're using as like a plugin or like how they're telling you, like how they're helping you get your SEO together. Like one of the reasons I love WordPress is because Yoast SEO, the plugin enables you to like check the boxes and do the SEO thing without even really knowing that you're doing it.
Okay.
Without knowing like the secret code or whatever.
A secret
So
code.
yeah, right. Well, because that SEO is such a mysterious thing. So I actually, if their SEO stuff is that is good and it shows you what puts you in the right direction, you might actually be able to come up for your show, which you aren't. I mean, other sites are for your show, but you aren't, which is kind of really odd. Well, you are. You're just on the second page, but let me see. Let's go to your Apple. I almost, right here. I would, I would put your link here in your description to your site,
My
and
website link in there.
yeah, so you could get some like backlinking from Apple and
Oh,
from Stitcher and from
so in my
all these
podcast
different places.
description on Simplecast, put it in there.
Uh,
www.theopenmicpodcast.show.
Yeah, I would put it there. So then all of a sudden, like all these places that are already like coming up as a higher ranking for your show than you are, and it is your show. Like it's not like it's some other Brett Allan. It's you. It's just you're missing out on the potential juice of like, hey, there's that link, and it's linking to him, so it adds a little bit of
So
authority. It
that would
adds a
be
little
what
authority. It adds a-
that's what backlinking is then.
yes. Mhm.
So just to make sure I understand, go to my host website, Simplecast, in my podcast description at the very bottom, put the open mic podcast.show, the website. Okay.
Yeah.
So then when it
Yeah.
shows up on iTunes in the description, the website will be there as well. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So when Google sees that, they're like, oh, hey, there's the,
There's that Brett Allan guy. All right.
Yeah, yep, exactly. So Larry Roberts says, I use SPP, but it's forcing manual interaction on my part as well. It didn't used to, but after installing Yoast, I found they don't play well together. SPP as in Simple Podcast Press, or SPP as in the one that's now called Fusebox from
I don't know what any of that is that he's saying. It's all Greek to me.
Which SPP are you referring to? Because like there's a Pat Flynn one that is now called Fusebox. So I'm not sure which one he's referring to.
And what's Yoast?
Yoast is an SEO plugin for WordPress. So
Copy that.
yeah, so in fact, you should go back and Simple Podcast Press. Oh, I use Simple Podcast Press. That's really interesting. But it's forcing manual interaction on my part as well. It didn't used to, but after starting Yoast, I found they don't play well together. That's really strange.
So Yoast is for WordPress, though.
You know what, Larry? Can you tag Hani Mora in this? And if you can't or are unable to, I will tag Hani in here so that he can have that conversation with you. Actually, Larry, you know Hani. So yeah, reach out to Hani. Let him know that, because that's really strange. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, there was somebody I was working with the other day where Simple Podcast Press wasn't showing up on the homepage in B theme for WordPress, but it would if I used literally any other plugin, and I'm like, or any other theme, and I'm like, this is really strange because I've been using B theme since like 2015 on every single website, and a lot of those websites had podcasts on them. So yeah, reach out to Hani. Let me know what he has to say about that, because I don't have any issue on my end with it, and I haven't other than this one example with B theme. I haven't had any problems with Simple. Actually, no, I wasn't even using Simple Podcast Press at the time. I was just I had just installed PowerPress, and PowerPress wasn't showing up on the site. So yeah, that's a totally different thing altogether. So yeah, definitely do the backlinking there, because it should help push your site up higher.
Okay.
How do you describe your show to me as if we had just met.
So the Open Mic Podcast is a podcast where I have celebrities and entrepreneurs, sometimes mostly influencers, and the tagline is "No topic is off limits." So when the guest comes on, we talk to each other about things that they normally would not talk about in a everyday interview conversation. So if I have Ric Flair on as an example, and I learn in my research that he plays guitar in a band, I'm going to ask him about those types of things first, or his love of painting pictures before I talk to him about, tell me about that match with Hulk Hogan in 1987 where he smashed you up against, the metal cage. The metal cage! So that's really the theme behind my show, where we just kind of have these unfiltered conversations about a lot of different things. And that's where the idea behind the open mic became, an idea for me. So originally when I started my podcast, I was doing a journey show, and then it slowly progressed over time to this.
Yeah, and that's not uncommon, right? Because a lot of times we don't know exactly what we want to start our show about, right? And even if we do, sometimes it's not necessarily apparent to everybody else out of the gate, and that's
Right.
just where the communication part really stands, right? So my thing here, like just looking at how you have the layout currently versus how the site will be set up when you're using pod pages. I mean, this does not communicate, like even in here, it does not communicate who the show is for, right? Or who is going to be on the show. I get that it's an open mic podcast. Stand-up comedy kind of does still come to mind. But even taking that out of it, like like there should be like some kind of subtitle or something here that fits, like that explains like unfiltered conversations with celebrities.
Okay.
Just something, right? That like I just got to your site. I see it's the open mic podcast. Okay, so I scroll down here and it says, okay, what people are saying. Well, I'm still not really knowing who this show is for, who is supposed to be on the show. So I'm scrolling down, and now it's talking about ratings and reviews. I still haven't found a play button yet, right? So, okay, so now we're at the first play button. Like, and this is a standout, right? Like, this is Larry says stand-up comedy always comes to my mind. Yeah. Well, and you know what? You can't even go by just stand-up comedy for open mic, because open mic could also mean like open guitar night at the, local coffee shop. So or local poetry slam at the coffee shop. That you can't necessarily just think comedy, but just, like I said, just simple, like from here to here that fits like right under your logo, like 4 words, 6 words, 4 to 6 words right there that just explains I mean, I really like what you said about the using the word unfiltered, celebrities, that kind of play around with those sets of words and get yourself like a really strong subtitle for it, right? So that people can understand what. I see Brent said the same thing. What's up, Brent? How you doing? Good to see you. See, he's thinking this. He must be just joining us.
So a subtitle. Yeah.
Yes, a subtitle. That is what you need, and it's less. So the ideal subtitle, which will help you explain the show within seconds, is ideally 7 words, is the max. Right, so
Okay.
it might end up being 9. It might be 6. It might be 5. You might be really lucky and have 4 words, but the goal there is maximum of 7 words. But something like I said, sometimes you hit 8 or 9 words, and it's not the end of the world. There you go. Informal celebrity convos. All of a sudden, people, see, Brent just joined. So all of a sudden, people get what it is right there, like right in the top. Like, as soon as they get to the site, like, what are we here for? What
do you think about moving to pod pages, and where it just kind of puts it out there? Do you need all the pictures of the guests? Do you need all of this description down here? Like, is all of that necessary? I mean, because I feel like we're going through a lot of different things. Like, do you need all of that? Do you need the picture? Or, I mean, people are going to just know, this is so-and-so.
Okay, so I know that this had came up in one of the Facebook groups I'm in, asking, like, truthfully, who reads the show notes? And it was like very overwhelming. Like 70+% of the people were like, "No, I don't read show notes at all." With that said, do you record the videos at all?
No, it's just all audio.
It's all audio.
90,
Okay.
95% of the time. Occasionally, I will have a video interview if somebody is just insisting upon it. Like today, I'm interviewing somebody, and she just insisted on doing Zoom because I think she's probably going to repurpose it for her reasons later. So this particular comedian, she's like, well, I want to do Zoom. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. But typically most of the people that I interview, they want to do a phone interview. Like they're in the car or they're somewhere, they're doing 5 or 7 interviews in a day. They don't have time to hop on a computer and this, that, or the other. Now I know Pod Pages does show notes. It adds the show notes. If like I showed you earlier, but I'm asking, like, do I need the pictures? Like, do the pictures really matter? Does anybody really care about the pictures? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that really a necessity?
So when it comes to putting together show notes, and I do it in WordPress, right? So, generally speaking, the ideal page has ideal page to be read by Google has about 300 words on it. So does your show, like as Larry says, I don't invest too much time in show notes, no timelines or anything like that, but I do include 2 to 3 paragraph description of the guest. Pictures, I think pictures are important, man. I think that, especially as celebrities, maybe linking to their IMDb, and getting, some authority through doing that. Pictures with good metadata can help with SEO. Absolutely. It helps Google say, is this for, who is this for? And who should I be serving it to? And what order should it come up in, when you're doing that, when they're searching for it. So I think that you absolutely should definitely take the time to do at least some kind of form of a show notes. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be ridiculous, like over the top. Like some people go really in depth for that. Now, with that said, I think that there's times where that makes a lot of sense to include, those timestamps and all that. And I don't know that they necessarily are interviews that make the most sense, at least in my mind, where I'm
I wouldn't. I would have no interest. Timestamps to me are just, I don't have that kind of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. I know a lot of people do it, but my show, to be honest with you, is like a radio call-in show. That's the bottom line. So I'm very light-handed on all of that stuff. I will put the things that we cover, but sometimes I don't know. Like with this Rick, I had talking points that I had to stick to and things that I could not talk about with him. They said, do not bring up Black Lives Matters. Do not bring up COVID. Do not bring this topic up, please. And I'm okay with that. If I get a guest and there's certain things that they don't want to talk about, or I don't care, I'm interested in this. Rick, we had a really good conversation, so it turned out quite well. And ironically, he wound up bringing those topics up on his own without me even prompting him or baiting him, or not baiting, or leading him into that direction. So I think I like the feedback on the website. I just maybe need to put a tagline up top, so people know. What about all this other stuff, the reviews and all of that? Should all that go down to the bottom?
I mean, yeah, generally, especially because it's so long. I mean, hey, and I love some of these people that are that are included in here, but I definitely feel like it's not as important to be at the top, right?
Okay.
What to most important on your site, because it's all about the podcast. Play button. Play button, play button, play button, right? Put that play button in as many places as possible. It's easy to hit. I mean, one of the things I use and I really love now is Pat Flynn's Fusebox, because it's a plugin for WordPress that'll put your episode at the bottom of every single page that you don't blacklist it from, or I guess whitelisted. I don't know what the term is. Like, see, here on my homepage here, it's whitelisted. But if I go to the podcast page, it should put it puts the player at the bottom here. And if I go to literally any other page other than the homepage, and I think there's one other page I have whitelisted or blacklisted. So, no matter where, no matter what you click on, there's always a play button right there. Which makes it, it's always the newest episode. Boom, right there for your convenience.
Sure.
So it's just one of those things that if you want to get more downloads, like, put the play button where people can find it, right? Brent says it might be cool to have some kind of collage or something near the top 2, similar to Eric Hunley. Yes, I would agree with that. There are so many recognizable guests. It'd be great to make that prominent. Yeah, I think so. I think more so than the cityscape, because I think that also kind of cityscape kind of plays into the open mic comedy part, aspect of the name. Let's see, but Brent said I suck on my website on my site, so I should probably just shut up. No, don't just shut up, Brent. That's a really great idea. I mean, to bring up Eric Hunley, shout out to Eric Hunley. Let's go to his website, unstructuredpod.com. All the beautiful peoples, of course, not unlike my photos up there, but all beautiful peoples are here on the top of his site, including Brent Basham. Hey, what's up with that? So I think something similar along the same lines would be kind of like because if you're going for that like LA vibe, right? What about like how was it, the Hollywood Bowl? Is that it? The Hollywood Bowl? Where how like they have their pictures laid up of all the celebrities that have been there, right? Or like literally any restaurant or any like eatery that has lots of celebrities that come through their place. That kind of vibe might be super helpful for you to be able to convey, again, the messaging there of who this is for, right? So you put subtitle underneath the name of the podcast. You put in you get maybe shout out to Larry Roberts, really random. Get him to put together a nice graphic for you that shows that shows the pictures, some of the pictures of the people that you've already interviewed. You get your play button closer to the top, if not like right up here inside of the top right there. However, Pod Pages allows you to do it. And as far as you asked about what do I think about you going to Pod Pages, I'm not against it. And the main reason being that you're already in a captive state. Like you're already in whatchamacallit, GoDaddy's like their website creator. So you're already rebuilding the site once, but at least this way it'll be easier and more structured towards how podcasters use websites. So I'm not against it, but I do feel like at some point you may want to get an actual WordPress site that you can host and take to a different host at any moment's notice. With that said, I think maybe I should reach out to Dave Jackson and find out what kind of exporting magic they have, in case you ever did want to take your site and go somewhere else. Because let's see, Referral, affiliate, offer bulk discounts. Yeah, nothing about like how do I take my content and go, right? How do I export it so that I could import it into a WordPress or into another site later on? Because you're going through a lot of work to probably move your site now.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, I bet it is. It's it definitely puts you in the
I
trenches.
guess for me, like, I just had negative experiences with WordPress. I've never been able to really figure out how to do it. So, in any case, I guess there's no time like the present to learn and just do it like most people do. Right.
Oh, I don't want to dissuade you from jumping on the pod page bandwagon
No,
here,
no, I
but
don't think that
I
you
just
are.
from like our guy Todd Cochran in the community. He I really feel passionate about podcasters owning their brand and owning their content, and if at the very least having an easy way to export that information to take it with you somewhere else, like that part, like that means a lot, right?
That's
like,
why I left Anchor. Is because of that very
'cause
reason.
there was no way out of it.
Nope.
Right,
I still
without
have.
just dumping everything and starting
I had to
over.
just crash. I just had to literally trash everything and start from scratch.
Yeah.
When I moved to Simplecast.
Right. And Brett, I assume you're in this for the long haul, right?
Oh yeah, I mean I'm
Right.
literally this is it, So I've started another side business to kind of couple this, but yeah, I mean I'm in this for the long haul.
So what's your how many episodes are you at right now?
75.
Right. So when you get to 175 and you decide, you know what? I think I might be ready to try to move to a WordPress site. Now you're moving 175 episodes. And I've rebuilt the IndiePod website from the Mid-Atlantic website, and I actually just started up a whole new WordPress install just to do that, rather than trying to take 5 years of gruff and all this excess stuff,
so
and kind of ham it in there.
Moving to WordPress, how do I move it from like all my episodes? Do I just put in an RSS feed and then it'll just pull everything over for me? What?
Well, you can. I mean, you're hosting with. I'm not familiar with Simplecast as far as their stuff, but what you would do is you're creating the posts. So you would just you create each episode is a post, and then you would just take your player like you're normally doing it and popping it in there. But the page itself will populate, like you're manually changing your site around. Like I've used the GoDaddy builder before, for one of my clients, so I know it's a pain. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think was it GoDaddy or was it somebody else? I think it was Wix. I'm thinking of Wix.
Ugh.
That was insane. Like I had to build the site for the desktop, and then it would be like, oh, we're gonna magically make it mobile, and then you go to look at it, and it's like everything's like clumped together.
Well, that was one of the
that's a
appeals
disaster.
to GoDaddy, which made it attractive, is it automatically optimized it for mobile. So that was part of why I did it that way, was because it makes it, it does it automatically.
Right. And that's huge, right? I mean, I remember with WordPress, having to install a separate theme just for the mobile site.
So WordPress,
that goes back a long way.
So WordPress doesn't auto-populate the episode for you and put it onto your website. You have to manually put in the RSS or the CSS, whatever it's called.
Yes, you'll have to create the post because of the host that you're using currently. But what you might be able to get away with is Simple Podcast Press might work with Simple. With Simple Podcast. I'm sorry. What was the name of the host?
Simplecast.
Simplecast. I'm not sure if they use Simple if it integrates with Simplecast, because what it might do, or maybe there's a plugin that Simplecast has for WordPress that will auto populate a post every time you create a new episode on their hosting platform. There's our man Honey. What's up, Honey? How you doing? Let's see. Most WordPress themes optimized for mobile responsiveness. Yeah, and that's now, Brent. Like and I'm sure you know, Brent, because you've been around. It wasn't always that way. You used to have a separate plugin or a separate theme just so that when people came on a phone or mobile anything, it showed that mobile theme and not the whole site. But yeah, responsiveness is key for this. So yeah, I would look into simple. Let me see, like Simplecast WordPress plugin. Does Simplecast have an official WordPress plugin? Yes. Simplecast shortcode plugin will enable you to embed your Simplecast standard web player on WordPress.org or WordPress VIP. If you have a self-hosted website, you can download for free. So yeah, so they have a free plugin that I guess will populate your entire episode. See, there's the player, and then you can have embed short link for episodes.
Do you recommend buying a theme for WordPress?
Generally, yes. The one I always recommend is B-theme, but I mean, this is going to be a massive undertaking especially if you're not super like into it. But like this has 500 pre-built templates that you can scroll.
Well,
through
I
every
mean,
single
if
one
I'm
of
going
them.
to do it, I may as well do it, right?
I mean, that was kind of my point, right? If you're in this for the long haul, to me, like WordPress gives you that ability to basically plug in anything and plug in the ability to export your content to take it pretty much wherever you want to go next. And to me, again, that is the key. Also, WordPress can, hosting can be cheaper for the most part because you just get like a shared hosting account.
Sure.
Let's see. I do 100% $50 ish. He recommends. I guess.
So what do you just buy into the membership and then you can just pick any one, or do you just have to pick one and pay for it?
Oh no! This is a one-time fee of I think it's $60 at the moment.
Okay.
So when you go to shop, so this is like you can even have your own WooCommerce site that charges you nothing. WooCommerce is free. I mean, there's some plugins for it that cost money, but once you have WooCommerce installed, like the only fee would be like PayPal or Stripe or however you're taking that payment. So B-theme cost, let's see here. So it's $59 regular license. You get 6 months of support, which you'll get updates forever. I have licenses going back to 2015, and I still, gets updates all the time.
Okay.
Has its own page builder. Apparently now fully compatible. Oh, apparently it's compatible with Elementor, which is cool because I think Elementor is what my sister uses for her website actually.
So I could literally take everything from Simplecast, plug it in here, and it'll just pull everything over, and bada bing, bada boom.
Well, you're gonna have to put like you're just getting the short code plugin, so that will enable you to just put the short code in for the episode, and it'll put the player right in its place.
Yeah, I do that on GoDaddy.
Right. So this you just have to get that plugin to do that. So you're still gonna have to create all the posts, in order for that to do that.
Okay.
Just go ahead.
And then just move my domain over eventually.
Yeah, to wherever because you can host WordPress on GoDaddy, which if you're not a big tech head, I would actually recommend staying with them just because they have phone support. Like I generally use DreamHost, which used to be the much cheaper option, but everything's pretty much gotten more expensive in the last 5 years. So they are still pretty cheaper. If you just go for like the basic shared hosting, it's cheaper, but they only have text support. No phone support. So if you're big on you picking up the phone and calling, somebody in tech support, like
not really.
Yeah. Well, then I don't know. Then it might be worth looking at another hosting provider that's cheaper. So it is an effort to switch, no doubt. I totally agree. But the thing is if you're gonna have to go and do this all already at once now, like, and if you don't have an easy way to get to like take it to another platform later, because like what if a year from now Podpage doesn't exist,
Yeah.
right? So
We
now,
had
or
to go
even
out
2
of
years now.
business because we ran out of money.
Right. Well, and looking at their pricing, I mean, if they're, the hosting pricing isn't terrible, so it's competitive with what everything else is, especially if they're not hosting the media files. But one thing that worries me is the episode videos. If you film a version of your episodes, you can include this on your episode page, making it easier for your audience. Now, are they talking about literally just putting in embed code for YouTube, or are they actually hosting the video file? Because they're hosting the video file at $15 a month, they're going to go out of business. Like they're not gonna survive that. Yeah. At that point, I would my suggestion to them would be charge a little more money. I mean, podcastwebsites.com is a thing, right? Shout out to Mark Asquith. And they charge $100 a month, but they include hosting for your podcast, hosting for the website, hosting for everything. I mean, another option, if you want like that simple, easy type of thing, Blueberry has website hosting. Not just podcast hosting, but they'll give you a website even if you don't have
Simplecast
one.
does that too. They have a website. Yeah, they do that.
What kind of what kind of export issue do they offer?
Well, if you go to,
Let's see, pricings and features.
I mean, it's not really a fancy website, but they do offer something, and they will allow you to move your domain over if you really want.
I'm just curious about the feed, right? Because my whole thing is if you can get the feed out of Simplecast, like you could bring it to another, like you could effectively bring it to like a Blueberry or somewhere that's a little more open.
My only contention with switching to Blueberry or anything else is that I have to cancel all of this and then.
Yeah.
And
I'm
I don't.
not saying
to
today.
be honest, I really want to do that, but
I
I like the idea of getting a new website. Like I think that is definitely the next move.
Right. Yeah. No, I definitely would not agree, and I would definitely get away from the whole GoDaddy structure. Personally, and
GoDaddy needs to go.
Right. Well, especially because if you're in that camp of like I'm in this for the long haul. And when I get to like 150 episodes, am I really going to want to take the time to like move it because somebody, they shut down or the plans change or it's no longer, viable for me to, or something just isn't working properly. Like I want this feature that comes out a year and a half from now and they can't offer it for whatever the reason.
Sure.
So to me, it's not even about who, it's about what, right? And what can I do with my data? Can I take my data and take it somewhere else and import it elsewhere? And that's always the key. Like I said, with WordPress, I could just export it and bring it to another platform. If somebody else, comes up with a rival that's, free and open source and specifically for podcasting, I could totally do that,
Sure.
And same with Blueberry, right? Like I own my RSS feed, like I own everything about it, and that to me is important. But I'm not. Yeah, I mean, to me, I love B-Theme. I think it's great. It's powerful. I can build all kinds of websites, web pages, pretty quickly. I can create templates on my own and then utilize those templates for other things later down the road, like a lead magnet page or something like that, or a bunch of, if I had to make a bunch of thank you pages, or if I had to make a bunch of different pages for something, like I can make that template, export it, import it, export it, import it, export it, import it, or save it as a template and just open it up that template and make new pages based on that, like
Sure.
so much quickly. I could speak word. So to me, like that's the thing now. If you're not ready to make that jump to like WordPress, totally understandable.
No, I think I am. I feel more confident about it now.
I think you should be. If anybody who's thinking about making this their like a big thing for them in their life, like WordPress is the way to do it because you can export it and take it wherever you want after the fact. And that's always, to me, that's the number one thing, like, that's important. Taking your data. And owning your data. Because, like, here's the thing, right? Like, you don't have, you say you wanted to leave WordPress, but, like, let's take that out of the equation. What if you get mad at your host? Like, right now, you're like, oh, I want a better looking website. Well, I didn't really want to learn WordPress, but I'm already built in this GoDaddy builder. Like, okay, well, how do you take that and you're going to bring it to somewhere else? Whether it is WordPress or Zoops or, I don't know, one of the other many different CMSs out there. So it's frustrating in the sense that, like, no matter what you do with the GoDaddy builder, you're always going to have to basically start from scratch all over again. And that's what you don't want. Just like if it was Squarespace, it's not just being up on GoDaddy, but like if it's Squarespace, like you can't. Actually, Squarespace might have a way to export. They might have.
I'm not a fan
of
Squarespace personally, but
yeah, I mean it's not great, but it's not bad. It's just, at least they have a way of exporting. Export from an active, export, expire, import to WordPress.com. If you plan to import the content, your images may not migrate the rest of your content. Well, that's super annoying if you got tons and tons and tons of posts. Instead, WordPress may only pull reference links for the images, meaning you'll when you deactivate your Squarespace, it'll all of a sudden it'll kill all those pictures. Hooray!
Boy.
Yeah, so it's things like that that just get to me because I want to be able to own and move content. So I think any other questions you have before we wrap up here?
I don't think so. I think this has been quite helpful.
Sweet. I am so glad to hear that. So you got a subtitle to work on, right?
Yes.
And a website to build, and make so that people. It doesn't have to be super complicated. It just needs to be clean, right?
Yeah.
Maybe reach out to somebody to do the graphics, to do some pictures with all the pictures of the people that you've had on the show, in that like Hollywood photo type of thing. Yeah, and get your play button in more places, wherever you go, wherever you do, and you know what? Like even that fuse box I was showing you before, where it puts it at the bottom of every page, that's totally free. You don't have to pay Pat Flynn a dime for that. So that's one of the big advantages is like with WordPress there's so many plugins out there that you don't get. It's not like, oh, there's the plugin. I remember. I built this whole website on Xoops, XOOPS, back in like 2004, 2005. We built like this internal website and an external website, and it was great. Like there's these plugins you can use, and how awesome is this? But the thing is like when the plugin wouldn't work, there was no other plugin. Like there was one. Like, hey, you want a calendar plugin? There's one. And if it doesn't do everything you want to do, tough cookies. Like that's it. You get what you get, and you don't get upset. And I'm like, well, this really stinks because it doesn't even work the proper way that it should be working. And there's little like nuances with it that just make it super frustrating to use. And here we are.
Yeah.
So with WordPress, it's like, oh, just go get one of the other 200 calendar apps out there that are totally free, or maybe a freemium setup where it's like, oh, you use it, everything's for free except up to this point, and then if you pay, if you need some extra features, well, then you pay like $30, and you got yourself the plugin. Like, bam, all of a sudden. Makes a lot more sense. Now, a lot more plugins have moved to like a yearly subscription thing, but depending on as long as you don't go crazy with them, it's not terrible if you're really using the feature set. So
right, for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm looking forward to big things from you there, Brett.
Thank you, sir.
You are so welcome. Thank you so much for being here, and it's a great pleasure to get to help you on a training Thursday. I've been happy to do this. Thank you everybody for coming in and giving the chat some love. Brent, Larry, who else was in here? Tim Brine and Facebook user. Appreciate it all of the time. Anyway, this has been the IndiePod Daily Show. I'm Super Joe Pardo, and this episode has been brought to you by IndiePod University. The price is going up on July 31st. That's tomorrow night. So if you want to take your podcast seriously, if you want to launch, grow, and monetize your podcast, this is the time to get in, because right now it's only $10. The price is going up to $100 because we went from just having the videos to having a community, Q&A sessions, and more, all being baked into the IndiePod University. So you definitely want to go and check it out, indiepodu.com, and sign up before the price goes up. Tim says, I'll be starting my Podpage account on Sunday if you want me to report in, I guess he meant Brett, but Brent. So yeah, if you want to check that out, go to indiepodu.com. Tomorrow's Free Ride Friday, so I'll be giving a free ride into the IndiePod University. Go to indiepodcasters.com/tube to subscribe to the Indie Podcasters YouTube channel, and I will pick one lucky subscriber to get a 1 month free ride into it. Also, don't forget Icon 6 face-to-face virtual event happening September 12th on Zoom. So that we will be able to do workshops, and I have a lot of things planned that to make it feel like an event that we all had together at the same time, in the same room, even though we will not be in the same room. It's going to be a lot of fun. Go to indiepodcasters.com/icon6 and sign up today, because those prices will be going up. And if you want to speak at that event, please go there and click the apply button. My bad, Brent. Yep, no problem, Tim. Keep killing it, Brett. Says Brent. I'm getting a lot of B words in here. Everybody, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow for Free Ride Friday. And if you got something out of this episode, please make sure to share it with the podcaster in your life. And I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great night.